Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to a video, and today we're going to be doing a review of the new Foxeer Predator. And now right here I have the mini and micro versions, and they actually did release the mini version here first. However, they just came out with the micro, which has the same PCB that's in here. They just made it a lot smaller and a lot lighter, so otherwise it is the same performing camera. So we take a look at the specs of the Predator Mini. You can see they just come in these cool little boxes. You can see it's 1000 TVL, a 4.3 camera right there. It's a CMOS sensor. It takes 5 to 40 volts, and it's a 2.5 millimeter lens, so it is actually not that wide of an angle. Obviously the field of view could be a little bit wider, but 2.5 millimeter is something that I'm not that used to. But if we take a look at the micro, it's pretty much the same exact specs, except this guy comes with a 1.8 millimeter lens. So that's quite interesting. It's going to be super wide, so I'm definitely going to hopefully like this for racing, especially since it's a 4x3 micro camera. I like to have that just for the extra vertical field of view versus 16:9, which gives you a little bit more horizontal. Because if you're going around turns pitch down tight, you want to see more into the turn. So the lens looks pretty cool up there. Otherwise, it looks pretty standard compared to a normal micro camera. Get one of those out. Here's just a normal micro Aero V2. The lens obviously is a little bit different. This is a 2.1, so 1.8. As you can see, it's actually just pretty much exactly the same length. And if we look at the back here, they have the exact same pinout. So if you're already using a Foxeer micro or a Foxeer camera, you should be able to plug this straight in, which is super nice that they didn't change up any of the pinouts or wiring there. And let's just get a quick weight on it. Here is the Predator Mini. So that weighs 12.2 grams, so it's actually a decent bit lighter than other mini-size or full-size cameras. And then we have the micro, which comes in at about 5.96, so just a tad heavier than other micro cameras, but definitely I am more leaning towards the micro for how light it is. If we take a look at what you get with the little box, it comes nicely protected in foam. You just get a sort of little quick start manual for the Mini and Micro Predator, going through the setting menus that it has for the OSD. And then the bottom here, you get this little box. Kind of had to rip it out. Mine was actually slightly glued in. I don't think that was on purpose. But we just get some of the mounting hardware for the camera. Here we just have the standard little M2 screws with some spacers and washers to help you mount. And then here we have the little OSD control board. And surprisingly, this is not the same one you usually get. This is a shrunk down sort of mini version. That's kind of interesting. You can see this is just to plug into the back of the camera to change the menu settings. So here, let me get one. This is the sort of normal board that they come with. So now they've just shrunken it down. I guess it's a little bit cheaper, just smaller. You don't really need the extra space there. So it's otherwise it's the same exact board, and they should be backwards compatible there. And then we get a little aluminum mounting bracket if you want to mount the camera that way, as well as our main breakout cable here, which is going to be the same exact one as the normal micro, which just plugs in to the back of the camera. And then here's where your OSD will plug in if you want to change these settings with that little dongle there. And then you just have your video and your voltage in and your ground. Then you have your blue wire for the voltage sensing for the on-screen voltage, because this does have a little OSD that displays your pilot name, a timer, and your voltage of your battery. And then you have the yellow for your video. So let me actually get this installed in a quad real quick. Once again, it's going to be super easy since I can just plug it right in from a quad I was already using a Foxeer micro in. And we'll take it out for a few flights and see how this little guy performs. Alright, here we have the Foxeer Micro Predator in a quad here. You can see I put my name on. Have the voltage as well as the timer. I had to figure out the video setup, so that's why it's at 6 minutes. But we should be ready to go here. I did turn the gain, the color gain up by about 5 points. But wow, this actually looks really nice. Now this is a 4.3 camera, and I use 6.29 goggles. However, I prefer that. That gives me a wider field of view, a taller field of view for racing. But still a nice 16:9 image to look at, just stretches it a little bit. But this is a very nice picture. Hopefully it's showing up well in the DVR. My signal's rock solid, but the actual colors, it's a little bit blue overall, but the resolution of everything Just looks really nice. This is the first CMOS camera that I've actually liked, like really liked right off the bat. See, look at the sun. You can still see the ground and the sun.
1
That
minute.
is really nice. Let's just flash it. No white flashing like the RunCam Eagle used to do. Wow. Look at the detail on the trees. I can see ghost branches. This is really nice. The sun did come out for us, luckily. So that's really nice.
30 seconds.
I can see the motors. I can definitely tell what it says on the motors. I mean, obviously I know what they say, but...
20 seconds.
Okay, so let's try this for a little bit of faster flying. See what the vertical field of view is, because this is a 1.8mm lens.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Yeah.
5, 4,
Ooh, and it says
3,
low. It flashes
2,
at you low with the
1,
battery.
0.
It's cool. See, it says low. So I do have it about, I think it's about a 45 degree. Might even be lower, maybe like a 40-degree angle on here. So that definitely does attribute. But the vertical field of view, since this is a 1.8mm lens, is definitely the best I've seen out of a CMOS camera. And once again, it is the 4.3, so that's definitely going to help. So yeah, I'm pretty much already signing off as this is my new favorite camera for everything. Freestyle and racing. I need to get more of these. Just look at the image. In the sun, I can see. I'm gonna run my battery dead. I'm having so much fun. It's like FPV for the first time. No, but... And this build, wow. This new build's flying really nice. Mode 2 motors, 2207, 2600 kV, HQ 5050 V1S. It's got an X-Racer V3 in it, but who cares? Betaflight 3.2 is this the stuff. Alright, need to come in and land this guy. But once again, just look at that sun. Not completely blowing out everything. Alright, here we are back inside after that little test with the Predator Micro, which is currently installed into my Mode 2 Ghost with pod. You can see it just sitting up there quite nicely. However, I do want to point out that the Micro and the Mini Foxeer are the same sensor. Everything's the same, just besides the case and the lens, obviously. So you're going to get the same performance. So to sum up the camera's performance, if you couldn't tell in the flight testing there, I'm actually really liking this camera. Pretty much what I've tested so far with the RunCam Eagle 2, RunCam Eagle 2 Pro, Foxeer Monster. I've tried a couple other CMOS cameras, 16:9 cameras, and I just basically did not like them too much. There was just a lot of shimmering artifacting. There was a lot of dark areas. It had white flashes. Everything just did not come together well for me, especially with the field of view, the vertical field of view for racing. So this Micro Predator being CMOS 4.3 1000 TBL, I definitely did notice the extra resolution. The latency actually on this is, according to some testing, is lower than normal CCD cameras, which I didn't notice, but obviously that's a good thing. You always want lower latency. And the wide dynamic range and colors of it were really nice. And like I said, I did boost the color gain up a little bit since it's winter and everything's all brown and dark around here. But obviously it's still pretty close to stock. And I was also loving the way this build was flying. It's Mode 2 Ghost frame with a pod from Princi Quad, and then we have the Mode 2 motors. They are 2207, 2600 kV, and then we have, I believe it's a DYS F20 4-in-1, X-Racer F3, F303, a TBS Unify in there. So now comparing it to the Foxeer Micro Aero, which is pretty much my standard camera right now, it definitely, I'd say the field of view was pretty comparable. This is a 2.1mm lens and the Micro Predator is a 1.8. I didn't really notice too much difference there, but definitely the wide dynamic range on the Predator was better. The colors were a little bit cooler, but you could obviously adjust that a little bit, but I found it very nice to fly and did not have any problems. And the field of view actually was really nice in the 4.3 version. But I know a lot of you guys will want a 16:9 micro, which is like something like the RunCam Micro Sparrow. And I do have this guy, It's a little 16:9 camera CMOS from FXT that I'll be testing soon, so stay tuned for that if you're interested in a 16:9 micro. But me personally, I like to stick to 4.3 for the extra vertical field of view when racing. But other than that, yeah, this camera is just absolutely fantastic. I'm not actually sure. I think it might be a little bit more expensive than the the micro Aero here, which is only $20, but whatever price it is, I definitely think it's worth it, and that it's a nice upgrade over this guy. I definitely would recommend the micro version. There's not much point to a mini unless, you know, your frame only supports a mini. But yeah, other than that, it's a really, really nice camera, and this is the first CMOS camera that I was actually excited to fly with, so that definitely speaks its own. So yeah, there'll be links down below in the description. If you're interested, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.